Recording in progress.
Right. Welcome back, folks. Welcome to our stability and balance class. Today we have a variety of things that we're doing. We're definitely doing balance. We'll be doing some strengthening, some body weight strengthening that's going to require some balance, and then some stretching on the chair, just kind of break it up a little bit. And then we'll transition towards the end on the floor because there's plenty of stuff that we could do for stability, but that's going to be on the floor with kind of our quadruped like program that we typically do. Okay, so like always, we'll start with the tandem stance or Romberg stance. So let me go ahead and just get this session started over here. So feet together, feet together. And then right now we're just hanging out, not doing much. Let me move this fan. Make sure it's locked right on my face. I'm sweating over here. So here now let's look left to right. I was just checking in on my friend who's doing the run, and I think he has about 6 or 7 miles left. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna be done before I have a chance to go back out there. So I don't feel too bad anymore that I'm not going out there. Up and down. Alright, close your eyes. So again, if you don't feel safe, open your eyes and separate your feet. Open your eyes. Okay. Very good. We'll start with a little bit of leg work here and some balance. So we'll start with some marches. So just some slow high knee marches. We're going to try to go through most of the balance movements that I have, just because this is the one component I feel this summer term we haven't done too much of. So don't worry, in the fall I'll have at least one session per week. And that's the nice thing about in the fall is that I know we're just meeting Mondays and Wednesdays, but now that we have 2 sessions each day, maybe on Mondays, we could do like a cardio and core, or like a cardio and posture, and then do a stretching session. And then on Wednesday, we could do more like strength and conditioning. And then the session right after that could be balance and stretching. So we could play around with it. It doesn't have to be like completely locked into what the title of the class is. Because I think it just makes more sense for things to be functional. Let's go ahead and do our standing Jane Fondas or hip abductions here. So just raise that leg up, back down. And again, if anyone has a ton of time, ton of free time, and wants to enroll at Irvine Valley, where I will be teaching this fall as well, feel free to, spend some time with that application process if you want to take more classes. Let's switch. But I have 4 classes there this fall. As long as I get, I think, like 16 folks per class. I've already shared with them that I think their numbers could be better if their registration process was a little bit easier, not as long as what it is right now. Alright, we're going to stretch out our arches and our calves. Not just stretch them, but strengthen them. So we're going to do our toe walk. So just on your tippy toes, let's go ahead and walk around your room. And your toes should be facing directly forward. So tippy toes, off your heels. Right now, toes in. Toes in. So now you're still on your toes, but now your toes are turned in. Alright, now toes out. Toes out, toes out. Alright, this one I'm going to stay on the yoga mat. These are heel walks, so you're just going to be on your heels, toes up towards the ceiling, and just short little steps. So we're on your heels, stretching out the tendons on the top part of your feet, and then also on the top part, or on the front side of your lower legs. Very good. All right, and then before I forget, I know I see you in here, Karen and Susan. Would you ladies like to be re-enrolled into the fall classes? Let's go ahead and do a quad stretch. I don't know if, I think everyone else here has responded. So again, just pull back on that right quad. So let me know in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself. So I'm just stretching out that quad muscle. Let's switch. Very good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do our tandem stance now, okay? So we'll try to go through, prioritize the balance movements. Let's go right foot in front of our left. Right foot in front of our left. Well, Terry, if you want to swing by Orange County on your way back home to out there towards Ventura, then you could meet us tomorrow at 7 a.m. if you'd like. We're going to look left to right.
I'll be there in spirit.
Alright. Where are you gonna be? Maybe we could just go to you. Let's do that. Up and down. Whoa. Legs are tired. Alright, this is where we're going to close our eyes. So just stay steady. Make sure everything's feeling good. Separate your feet if you don't feel safe. And open your eyes. Very good. Let's elevate that back foot. Okay, so we're in a little flamingo pose over here. So pretty much I was right here, so I just want to elevate that back foot. Yeah, so I'm assuming tomorrow, if you're meeting with us in Fountain Valley, Saturday morning, you know, if you're commuting around 6:30 a.m., there shouldn't be too much traffic. So that's the nice part, and we'll be done before it gets warm up there. So, all right, we're gonna do some knee drives from here. So lift that left leg and then just bring it up and back.
Sorry, Julio, this is Karen. I'm not ignoring you. I'm actually taking 2 classes simultaneously.
Oh, shoot.
I'm
Okay.
I'm taking exercise, and I'm also doing my continuing education for my license. So I'm here.
Yeah. All right. So no, prioritize that. That sounds more important than this right now. So.
Oh no, they're both important.
Okay. So, yeah, let me know when you're free if you wish to be re-enrolled. So.
Will do.
Great, thank you. All right. We're here on like 1 foot, and she's trying to, get her license. So, all right, let's go ahead and do semicircles. Okay, so we're here, and we're just gonna draw the left leg up forward at like that 12 o'clock, and then just hover it around in a semicircle, bring it back, and then go in reverse and back. Okay. This right leg is shaking. I'm feeling it on my glute, feeling it everywhere. And I was talking to my buddy right now when we're just running. Let's do the right leg now. So right leg forward, and then let's go around. I was just picking his brain. He's been a runner for longer than I've been alive. So I was just asking him, like, what do you do when this happens, or when you can't make it out to like the trails or the mountains for runs? He's like, honestly, like if I were you, what you're doing right after this run, you're going home and leading a fitness class. Like that's perfect. And like if you weren't leading that fitness class, what you should be doing is getting on like your stationary bike and go on there for like another hour and like really exhaust your body. And then I'm just like, man, like I thought he was gonna say something like just take a nap or have a very hearty meal or something. He's like, no, you gotta work out more if you want to fatigue your body. So arches are aching right now. Okay, so let's do a little bit of stretching. So we're gonna do some active stretching. So we're gonna do our hamstring sweeps. Okay, so if you've been with me for a while, you know what these are. We kind of just take little steps, straighten out that front leg, and then just sweep and come up. Just feel that stretch from your glute all the way down to your lower legs. Then you just switch, lengthen that front leg, and then come through. So you don't really have to walk, you just want to advance a little bit. Seems like you're doing a little bit more if you're advancing. But just straighten out that front leg though. Otherwise you're not going to feel that stretch. Let's do 2 more. So 1 more on each side. Very good. All right, grab some water, take a little breather. We're not just stretching right now, we're actually being active. We're gonna do one that we did on the previous class. I know about half the class right now wasn't in that class, so for some of you it's gonna be your first time, but just go ahead and look for your dumbbell. You wanna have a dumbbell nearby. Yeah, so my friend, I think he should be done pretty soon. I just got a text message. But yeah, we had a range of folks helping him out. I think while I was there was about 5 of us. I know his 15-year-old son was running with him. A couple of his friends were running. And then his wife drove him to the location, and she was giving him snacks as he was coming back to the van to rehydrate or get some nutrition. And I asked her if she was running with him for this run, and she said that she was gonna try to do the very last mile with him. So I was like, hey, you're helping out. So she's a trooper. She got up at 4 a.m. to help him out. So we're gonna do our single leg Romanian deadlifts, okay? So again, if you did them earlier, you know what I'm talking about. We did the staggered. So 1 toe is here. We went back down and up. Now, if you want to be a little bit more advanced, what you could do is just completely elevate that back leg and then just go down and then up. If that just feels funky and you don't like it, then just put your foot behind, even lower it. But we just want to be in the staggered position, okay? So we're going to do 8 of these. Ready? And begin. So keep that dumbbell as close to your legs as possible. Come back up and repeat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, Miss Ramit. 7.
Good morning.
Good morning. And 8. Alright, we're gonna switch. Hamstring. Feeling it. Alright, is anyone sore from the previous few days of workouts? Is everyone adjusting? We're gonna go right leg in front now. So, back leg is staggered, and again, slight bend at the knee. 1, 2. So I've been, Jeff, he hasn't been with us in about 2 weeks, and maybe a little bit longer, but him and his buddy were doing a very long hike from, I believe, Yosemite all the way to Mount Whitney. And I was looking where he was at because he sent me this GPS locator where they're hiking. And yeah, they've gone pretty far. Like they're closer to Whitney now than they were to Yosemite. And I can't see pictures that they post or anything like that, but I could see the location. So I'm Googling these spots of where they've been passing by. And oh man, it looks like he's in another planet. It's just these alpine lakes with no trees because they're so high up. And it's just the top of like the mountain, and there's a random lake with like the clearest blue water ever. Looks beautiful out there. Whew. All right, so we did those single. All right, we did curtsy lunges. I think we're okay without them. We'll do a different movement. All right, let's go. So we did right foot in front of our left. Now we're gonna go left foot in front of our right. Okay, left foot in front of our right. We're just standing here. Yeah, this morning, there's this 100-mile race that just started in Colorado, and one of my old college teammates is doing it. So I'll probably be watching that in the World Cup game later today. But yeah, some of these events, they wait until the very like worst conditions possible to put on these events, and they do it on purpose too. Like, have you folks heard of the Badwater 100? So it's from a race from Death Valley. Let's look left to right. It's a race from Death Valley to just I think the base of Mount Whitney, and that's coming up I think later this month. That's one where you have to qualify and get invited to, and you also need, I believe, a team of volunteers to help you, and within that team, I believe you need a team doctor as well. Up, we did up and down now. So yeah, it's some of these races are, they demand a lot from the conditions, but they also play it very safe. Alright, we're going to close our eyes. And open them. Let's elevate that back foot. So elevate it. Alright, we're gonna go high knee drive and back. One more. Very good. Oof. Alrighty. We're gonna go ahead and then let's go ahead and do our round the clock one-legged squats, okay? So this is the one where we're on one foot. We go here and we go 12 o'clock all the way to 1 o'clock and so forth, okay? Alright, here we go. So I'm going to start off with my left leg elevated because my left arch is on fire right now. So feel free to go with either leg, okay? So I'm going to go counterclockwise. You could go regular clockwise. Alrighty, so 12 o'clock and begin. So make sure you're tapping at every hour on the clock. Off here to the side. 6 directly back. 5, 4, 3. Oof. And last one. Alright. Shake it off. Am I the only one that gets tenderness on the arches? Or give me a thumbs up if you do too. And don't lie to me. Just I don't want you to make me feel better by saying that your foot hurts too. But maybe it's because I'm flat-footed. Alright, let's go with the right foot elevated now, or the other leg. Okay, so go ahead. No one gave me an emoji, so everyone's feeling good. Yeah, these, my flat feet. Luckily, it's never given me much more of an issue than some tenderness here and there. It usually just happens when I'm on my feet for a long time. But all it takes is just a gentle massage or the golf ball rolling and it'll be fine. Good. Alright, so we're there. Let's rest our feet a little bit. So we're gonna go on the chair. So if you're gonna grab your chair. Josefina, your feet don't hurt? Oh. Okay.
My what, sorry?
Your feet? Your arches?
Ay, oh my God.
They don't hurt?
You're gonna see me tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
find
God.
out. Let's do our piriformis stretch right now. So just lightly stretch the hamstrings. We just wanna give our... I just wanna give my feet a break. Let's be honest here. We're stretching because my feet hurt right now. And we're gonna get back on it. So, add a little bit of pressure. I'm just thinking what I'm gonna eat after. I'm running off, what are they called? They're like these little breads they sell at Costco. I think Madeleines. They're so good. Let's switch. And peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then a Gatorade. So. Oof. Alright, light pressure on that right knee. And since we are on the chair, let's just take advantage and let's do our chair squats, okay? So, if you recall, we do 8 of each. So the first one's gonna be just from here, using both of our feet, and we're gonna stand up and then back down. Try to avoid doing the whole rolling thing. Okay, we just wanna use the strength of our legs right now. If we're ever in that situation where we have to roll or you need to, then great. You know, you have that you have that access, but right now we're just trying to develop our leg strength. So Oh, Jan, I was thinking about you the other day. My wife sent me, um, and I guess next month in August, Lego's coming out with this new type of like plants for Legos, and it's more like vines. And yeah, she's already told me that's what she wants for her birthday. Her birthday is, let's extend that right leg, single leg now. Her birthday's next week, but she says she could wait another month. So, and I think she wants multiple sets of them, so she could make a very long vine. Um, so
Yeah, it sounds like that's one where you could easily modify it yourself without instructions to fit
yeah, exactly.
whatever you feel like, which is cool.
Yeah, and that's what the I guess the thing about it is that you could turn the leaves every direction, and like the leaves are very detailed. Where some of the tips of some of the leaves are yellow, like they're fading, and yeah, I'm like, well, one of them's gonna look nice like on a desk, but we just put this shelving up against a wall, and I think she wants to make it look like it's hanging, and so yeah, she's already like figured it out, like.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to get a can of compressed air or a feather duster for
Yeah, right.
cleaning it too as part of the package.
Let's switch when you're ready. That's true. That makes sense. But yeah, I was just like, "Are you sure that's what you want? You don't want a trip to Hawaii?" She's like, "No, I just want." I'm like, "All right, I'm good with that." No, she's very simple, and yeah, she's not materialistic at all. Let's just say her love language is definitely not gifts of affirmation. So yeah, but she loves her plants. She got upset with me once when I got her these pretty plants that I thought were really nice, and then she asked me how long did it take me to choose them. And I was like, and I was very proud for that, my response. I was like, it took me 15 minutes to pick this one. She's like, did you talk to them before you picked them? And I was just like, no, was I supposed to? Those were ABCs. So that's when I learned. I was like, all right, I think I'll just let her choose the plants because I'm not the right person to. I don't know what to ask flowers or plants. Does anyone else in here talk to their plants? No one wants to confess.
I do.
Shavana, you do?
I do.
Did they respond?
Yes, they do. You know, there's a saying, and I did that with my tree. So I had a fruit tree, Indian fruit tree, and it was growing, but there was like no fruits. So the thing where, you go and you, like with your spouse or whoever, and you go like, okay, we're going to cut this tree down. And the other person's like, no, don't cut it down. And the other, so like you have to say like 3 times.
Yeah.
And then we were like, my husband was laughing at me like, this is ridiculous. But it worked. Next year we had lots of fruits.
So we got to threaten the plants in front of them and then continue to intimidate them. Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of dragon fruit plants, so I think we gotta start like an argument right next to them or something. So let's do our claws. Yeah, she like I said, she's very creative. So she saw, I don't know if it was on TikTok or on YouTube, but there's some guy, I think from Garden Grove, who like makes these like towers with like this like thing. And the dragon fruit's supposed to go up and then overhang them, and we have a few of those, but yeah, I haven't seen fruit lately, so I might just like whisper to the plants in a little bit right now. So
Right, and let me know if that works. Go with your wife, and she's the one who should say like, no, don't cut it.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to say cut it.
yeah, okay, yeah. Send me like the role play script, so I know what to say exactly. All right, so I think we're good with the chair. We're gonna do a couple of things standing up. We'll probably have about another 10 minutes, and then maybe we'll spend about 5 minutes on the floor. Okay? So, someone logged in at the very end of class. Ella, not name calling, but hi Ella.
Hey, don't call me out.
No, you're good. Let's do our forget what this stands for. I thought it's a flamingo, but we're gonna just pretty much slide our foot and hold it here. So let's keep that balanced. We're talking about talking to our plants, Ella. I don't know if you do that or if you have information on that, but
I talk to the trees in the park.
there you go. What do they say to you? Switch?
They don't say anything, they just listen.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that's sometimes, yeah, we just need someone to listen to us, right? So. That's what I miss about when I used to do Uber and Lyft. I would meet so many people and so many strangers that if I had something in my mind, I would just talk to them about it. And I would never see them again, but it felt good just kind of letting that out. So let's go ahead. We did our one-legged squats. Let's grab a chair. We're gonna do an assisted, slightly assisted, on your toes, static lunges. Okay, long name. So we're just gonna hover our chair nearby. What I want you to do is do a split stance, and you're gonna get on your tippy toes on both feet. Okay, and then so just depend on that chair as much as you need to. If you don't need it on that first round, it's gonna go up and down. Okay, and then of course if you feel uneasy, then just lightly tap it. But we want to do about 8 of these. Okay. And again, I'm off my heels, so that's putting a little bit more stress on my calves and on my arches. And again, if you feel wobbly, just drop your heels or, put your hand on the chair. But let's do 8 of these. One more. Very good. I'm gonna switch. Oof. And let's go ahead and begin. So 8. Three more. All right, very good. Alrighty, and lastly, as mentioned earlier, we're just gonna finish on the floor. We're gonna do some donkey kicks, some fire hydrants, and some straight leg raises. So everything's gonna be on that quadruped position, okay? So we'll be done shortly. You're gonna get on your yoga mat. And before we start, you could even just, Terry just left. We could go ahead and I'm gonna stretch out my arches a little bit by sitting on my heels. I feel like I should have done that this morning before the run. So do you have a lot of fruit trees, Shabana?
I do. I have a few mangoes, guavas, and I'm still waiting for my Asian pear. I need to start talking to him more.
Yeah. I love mango's my favorite fruit. So if you ever have an excess amount of mangoes, let me know.
If you guys mind.
Let's get on our floors. So wrists below your shoulders, knees below your hips. Let's go right leg first. So let's do 8 towards the ceiling, donkey kicks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, we'll switch. So 8 on the left leg. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Rest your arms. A little break. Yeah, the home I grew up in, I think we had about 7 different fruit trees, and here right now we don't have any, but waiting on, hopeful on the dragon fruit. But my wife also planted I think it was a lime or lemon tree, and then a papaya tree too. So let's do fire hydrants. So again, 8. So fire hydrants from here, you just come out laterally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Get off my arms. Ready?
I have a curry tree leaf. Yeah, curry leaves tree. It's like huge. But I don't know if you guys use it. I know like in Indian cooking we use it a lot.
What is it?
Curry leaves?
Curry leaves?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
then you like for like seasoning and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for flavor. But it's good for like to eat it. It's good for like I believe diabetes.
Just like nice. What's like the basic, like easiest way to like consume those with like something?
I mean you can actually just chew it.
Oh, okay, just okay.
I'll bring some tomorrow.
Yeah.
It has good fragrance.
Okay. Thank you. So last one's gonna be a straight leg. So we're here, just leg straight, and then just up and down. This just gets the little higher part of your glute. Just make sure you keep that leg straight. And then once you're done, let's switch. Left leg. Oof, we're done. Work. Yeah, at the last place I lived, my landlord had it was a duplex. He had a garden with lettuce, and at first when I moved in, he was like, "Hey, if you don't mind, just like don't touch these plants. Like I'm trying to grow them and hopefully get some lettuce." And then probably about 2 weeks later, he was like, "Hey, bro, I need you to help me eat this. Like it's just growing way too fast, and I don't want to like throw it away." So there's a good that's probably the most salads I ate in my life was right before Julian was born. But that stuff, grows like wildfire too. So, but anyways, let me know if anyone has any questions regarding tomorrow. The plan again is to not meet through Zoom. We're meeting in person at the Starbucks off Brookhurst and Edinger in Fountain Valley. I know maybe it might be a little delayed because some folks are coming from out of town. But if we could get everything going by 7:10, so we're not waiting too long, that'd be awesome. But if everyone's there by 7, then we'll just start early. And again, my phone number is on that email. And if you can't make it, then make sure that you don't have to log in at a specific time in here. There's going to be video recordings for you. But other than that, I'll be doing the re-enrollment either today or tomorrow. The deadline's on Sunday, but I like doing it earlier in case there's a mistake on my end. But if anyone needs to confirm, if you're in there or not, you could stick around right now. But any questions before we head out?
No question, Julio.
What was that?
Que ahí nos miramos mañana.
Oh, okay.